I headed back to PAXU today and talked to some more game developers and publishers and had an absolute blast. Let's meet the cast of characters.
Questlandia. It is in its second edition now. It is a kingdom-building role-playing game where you all collaboratively make a surreal fantasy kingdom together and then watch it start to crumble under the weight of a bunch of escalating troubles. You're rolling six-sided dice to determine narrative outcomes, and you're also drawing that's from a standard deck of playing cards, and those help your troubles escalate throughout the game.
Enter the Orb is about the experimental 3D animation of the early 90s, like before Pixar was Pixar, and people were just trying to make shapes tell a story. In this game, you start by watching one, and then you're going to try to make your own with a competing creative director who wants to express a big story, and a technical director who knows that you only can afford like 2 textures, 2 shapes, and is trying to bottle that all up.
So this is Enter the Orb, which is basically a game of project managing in a land of limited resources, trying to create the world. That's really, really cool. If you miss the Amiga ball, you want to play this game.
I'm Bob. Bob the Tree is my tagline. I'm with DM Dave. We're doing D&D 5e content here. So we have all sorts of one-shots, campaigns, new monsters, new magic items, all sorts of things to inject into your 5e content and campaign. We try to keep the fluff out. We want to make sure that you're able to pick up the book, read it, and understand it at your table so your players can have fun as well as you have fun running your content. In black and white on the inside for these broadswords. It has everything that you need in the back, the appendices, all that sort of thing. There's also colored content on the Patreon. You can get 750 PDFs if you sign up for the Patreon at the lowest tier. And then we also have a box set as well of all the, or a 1 to 4 adventure with everything that you need, tokens, maps, all sorts of fun stuff. It's its own setting of Lemuria, so it's not Faerun or it's not Eberron, it's its own setting, it has some of its own rules, but you don't have to run the one-shots in Lemuria. You can run it in your own world, you can run it in Faerun. They're very pick up and play wherever you want to go. You can get them online. These are some of Dave's favorites that he wanted to bring. So we have 24 total issues as well as 1 compendium that acts as 3, as well as a monster compendium. So you can all get them online at store, dmdave.com.
My name is Matt. I'm one of the directors over at Guardians Mental Health. We're a nonprofit organization born out of the tabletop and video game spaces with a primary goal of spreading and promoting positive mental health resources. One of the ways that we're doing that is through our mental health kits here. Inside each kit is a combination of printed materials and physical sensory items that I've been playing with all day. And we're not a replacement for therapy by any stretch of the imagination. More so supplemental. And the kit itself is to look to engage and teach self-care exercises and breathing skills. Everything that's in the kit is written or vetted by a mental health professional. So I'm a clinical social worker, and I also work with a clinical psychologist as well too, who makes sure that everything is appropriate, and we're not just pulling from Google. We're pulling from evidence-based practices and things like that. Kits are 100% free. We don't charge for them. Last thing we want to do is gatekeep mental health, so we're giving out the kits free here at the convention to help and spread the word of positive mental health to all. GuardiansMH.org is our main website, and then all social media. So Twitter is GuardiansMH, Instagram is GuardiansMH. We are on Facebook on Guardians Mental Health as well too, and Twitch, twitch.tv/GuardiansMH.
We've got a whole suite of games right here. We've got Rune, which is a solo RPG based off of like your Souls-like games. We've got some power fantasy games that use my Lumen system, Nova and Light, and then Slayers, which is my take on like the spooky monster hunter fantasy genre. They're all dice-based, and they all run rules light. I like rules light, I like it to play the game quick. I like sessions that last 1 to 2 hours and then you're all set. They're all campaign play possible, but also some of them really excel in one shot. So the Lumen system is a D6 dice pool. The Slayers whole thing is actually each class has their own rules, so everybody's playing by their own thing. And then Rune is bouncing back and forth between like environmental storytelling, kind of like building your own story, and then tactical grid combat. Nova is the sun exploded, which is a bummer, and so you hop into these mechs and you go explore kind of our dark, dangerous world trying to rebuild humanity. No pressure or anything, and not spooky or weird at all.
We're really featuring Vast Grim, which is a sci-fi horror hack of Morkborg. This is the very first show that we had physical copies at. The universe is ending. And we also have included these 6 parasitic worms that have been taking over humanity for the past 663 years. So there's a high chance of getting infected and the worms doing terrible things to your body. My friend Ross, who's the co-creator of it, ran a mork board game for us, and then as soon as that happened, I sculpted a creature that was darker and weirder than my more lighthearted sculpts, which is the Warhound over here. And when I did that, I was like, okay, it needs a setting, and I had been wanting to play some science fantasy stuff. So from that, that's how we created it.
This sounds absolutely insane and terrifying.
Thank you.